Life has got two rules. Rule number one, never give up. Rule number two, never ever forget rule number one. My fellow Gavaliers, Toastmasters and guests, a very warm good evening to one and all present here.
Good evening.
To never give up means to stand up and to try one more time when you completely feel like you're unable to do it and you're attempting to quit. Regardless how slow you go, you should never stop trying. Life has got three main drivers for success, namely persistence, perseverance, and always having a resolution to keep on trying. Your body may ache, the scars may seem to be wearing you down, but at that cases, we should never accept defeat. We may be a victim towards defeatism, and we tend to learn ill habits like being lazy from our society, from our surroundings, and from our peer groups. When we feel that our environment is plunging us down into despair, we should have a hope that this would in turn fuel our perseverance. When we fall down, it is obvious that we get up. The power you show while getting up shows or depicts the amount of strength that is built within. Regardless the number of challenges life has to face, we will have to keep on working hard so that we can keep up pace with the fast life. There are three major reasons for why a person should never quit in his life. Number one, never giving up equips you with the skills that can be used for other aspects of life. Number two, never giving up helps you to hit through the breakthrough. It is always known that it is dark at times of dawn. So success may be just around the corner when we are attempting to quit. And number three, never giving up helps you to prove others wrong. So never stop reaching for the stars, never stop dreaming, and always have in mind that tomorrow is always a lesson that is learned from yesterday. Another thing to be remembered or considered is that you may not be excellent or be successful in everything you start up. People are afraid to take new things as they are scared for making mistakes. If a person doesn't make mistakes, then what is the point in life? If you're unhappy with your performance, then there is always a scope for trying again. So I will share with you some living examples of never giving up. Michael Jordan was cut off from his basketball team. In their first year of business, the Coca-Cola only sold 400 Cokes. In Dr. Seuss's book, And to Think What I Saw on a Mulberry Tree was rejected by 27 publishers, and the 28th one sold almost 6 million copies of the same book. Similarly, The Chicken Soup for the Soul was rejected by 33 publishers, and the 38th one, that is the Vanguard Press, sold almost 7 million copies of the same. If Dr. Seuss, the authors of Chicken Soup for the Soul, Michael Jordan, and the Coca-Cola team had given up, they would not have been the household names they are today. Similarly, the former British Prime Minister, Sir Winston Churchill, who won the Nobel Prize for English Literature, took almost 3 years for completing his 8th grade as he had problems learning English. It thus seems ironic that the same person was invited for addressing the commencement ceremony. He later, a cigar, a top hat, and a cane always accompanied Churchill wherever he went. He approached the podium. The audience applauded. He settled the audience, gently placed his top hat on the podium, cigar in his suit, and started his speech. He said, "Never give up." The audience was shocked. He rose on his toes and said, "Never, never, never give up." He took his top hat, took his cigar, steadied himself with the cane, and moved out of the podium. His commencement speech was over. Nobody is born perfect. Imperfections and failures must not allow us or deter us from moving forward with confidence. It is determination that helps one to achieve his or her goal. As the American author Terry McMillan puts it, too many of us are hung up on the same thing, which we don't have, won't have, or can't ever have. Instead, we should put some money and some extra energy so that we can achieve what we actually want. Always be positive. Analyze your goals and make sure you use the best of the prevailing situations. Always be perseverant. Thank you and have a nice day and never give up. Thank you.
That is the end of our prepared speech session. Now we have our table topic section. The table topic session is the section of a Toastmasters meeting where we all get the practice the art of improv speaking. Today's table topic master is Gabrielle Tanvi. She studies in DPS and is in 7th grade. Fellow Gabriels, please join me in welcoming our table topic master, Gabrielle Tanvi.
Table topics is this section of a Toastmasters meeting where we all get the practice of art of impromptu speaking. The topics master is responsible for running the table topic session, the purpose of which is twofold. It enables us to develop the skills of impromptu speaking. It provides a really valuable speaking opportunity for anybody who is not otherwise included in the meeting program. It's also great experience to take control of the part of the meeting and to use your creative skills. You have 1 to 230 minutes. Minimum 1 minute is required to be qualified. If you exceed 230 minutes, you will be disqualified. Light green, amber, and red will be displayed accordingly. Today's word of the day is robust, and I would encourage the speakers to use the word. Can I put an agenda? First speaker is Shailene. Is stealing to feed a starving child wrong?
Respected Toastmasters, Cavaliers, and my dear friends, a very good evening to all of you.
Good evening.
Is stealing food to feed a starving child wrong? I do not think it's wrong because you are doing some good things towards him, a starving child. We cannot live one day without food. Imagine you are in that situation where you don't get food for 1 week or something. You will starve and ultimately you will starve to death. So I think that feeding a starving child, stealing food for feeding a starving child is not wrong. Thank you.
It is
Gabrielle Seba.
It's not time for me to dance.
What
All the
gets you
best, ma'am.
excited about life?
All the best, my man.
Well, Cavaliers, respected Toastmasters, and everyone present here, a very good evening to one all.
Good evening.
So the topic I've got is what gets you excited about life. Well, what actually gets me excited about life is the fact that there's so much more to life than just school days. We have college coming up. I have college coming up. then I can travel later on, and at one point I'll get married, I'll be a mother, and like at each stage, we make more memories and good times, and we go through hard times, but it's all part of life, you know. And the fact that like I see people enjoying life, and maybe I'll also have that one day. I'll also go through that, and that makes me move forward and makes me get excited about life.
Give chill. People make it make it extra. Why is she walking like that? How did I bless her? Okay. It must be a funny topic she's going that. A funny part. Hugh, this one.
Would you like to be respected or give respect?
No. Yeah, she will.
Toastmasters, fellow candidates, and guests, a warm good evening to you.
Good evening.
So would I like to be would I like to get respected or give respect? As a matter of fact, giving respect and receiving respect is both equal for me, because even though, okay, I'll tell you a great example of my life where I did not even get a single respect. It's basically like my cousin. My cousins and all hang out when you go to India, obviously. When you go for vacation, we have fun. But the basic idea of my brothers is that one girl in my in the whole family of cousins is really great. Because if you're the only girl in your whole family, I'm not telling the whole family in sense of cousins, because you don't, I don't know how to say it. You know, it feels awkward to be around boys. And the worst thing, everyone even it looks as if you're even looking, you know, you're going to do something wrong. It's the most thing. I'll tell you another example. Like, I pranked my brothers like I was going to jump inside a well. Now, the well was only 4 foot, like just till here, and so I could have jumped. My brothers, instead of saying no, they were like, no, it's fine. Now, giving respect. I do give respect to my brothers, but they don't show equal respect to me. So even though they show, they don't need to show as much as equal respect to me. So if I respect them, I feel I'm getting more. I feel I'm giving a positive energy to them. So I feel like giving respect is much more what I feel is more positive and more reliable. Thank you.
She's so good. What? You.
Wait, Tash.
You made it for fun. Yeah, right. She only gives it to reserved people. She doesn't sing. How do you have so many cousin brothers? Cousin brothers. That's really sad. One day you're tomboy. Oh, I don't know what that topic
Which is
was.
the worst incident you had that you remember till now?
Fellow Cavaliers, Toastmasters, guests, and everyone presented here, very good evening to you all.
Good evening.
So my topic is, what is the worst incident I've experienced in my life? I think the worst experience is today, what happened today. So I had a French program which I had to speak for in French, and I thought no one knew French there. So I prepared my speech and I went up to the stage and I spoke, but I messed a lot of things up, But I did realize that no one would notice it. But then the vice principal, turns out he knew French.
Wow.
So he came up to me and he asked me about if I prepared for it or not, and I did say yes, but he was like, why did you make so many mistakes? And he started questioning me about how I wasn't very prepared for it, and that was pretty embarrassing. So yeah, I guess that's the worst
One lazy guy, you know.
experience.
Unless he doesn't know Malayalam or Hindi. Good evening.
If you would like to be a master at one thing, what would it and why?
So, good evening, everybody. The topic that I've got today is, if I could be a master at one thing, what would it be? So I'm going to go with the tricky way around this and just say, if I could master one thing, it would be the ability to be able to master everything that I can. It's like those questions where they ask, if you had one wish, what would you wish for? I'd say I'd wish for an infinite amount of wishes more. So if I wanted to, I would just come up here for the table topics, immediately master it, and be able to give a perfect speech. If I went to write an exam, I'd just be able to take the paper, become a master of like impressing the examiner, present everything I know, and then get full marks. So that's all. Over to the great dancers.
Where the hell is she here?
What do you love most about yourself?
Good evening to one and all present here.
Good evening.
So my topic is, what do I love most about myself? And I think this is a better question for people who know me than me answering it myself. But ultimately I would like to conclude that maybe the fact that I like to smile a lot is something I like